Okay, part two. We're continuing on from the last video. It's been like 2 weeks. They've released more cards once again. So May 27th, which is in 26 days from today, hopefully if the video goes out, um, the fourth set will come out for Asia, not for us, unfortunately. EN won't get it for another like 8 months, but we live and we just get excited over what could be coming. So to start with, I want to talk about last time. We went over this promo card. This promo card is now actually the box topper in OP04. So if you buy a box of OP04, you will get this card as like the single packet. Yep, that's just like the announcement they made that it's going to be a box topper, which is cool. And last time when we left off the video, we were talking about potential leaders. And I'm just want to point this out because I want to show you guys that I think I'm quite good when it comes to predictions. Last video, I said that Green Black will probably be someone Navy related. I was thinking Rosinante because Rosinante is also Don Quixote Pirates. And I said Blue Yellow would probably be a Queen leader. That it makes sense for Queen to work with the Animal Kingdom Pirates type and that only be Kaido. So I do believe that they'll give another option for that. And same way I believe that Green Black will be another Dressrosa.
We interrupt this program for an important news announcement.
Ever felt the need to be hydrated and energized at the same time? Well, look no further because Dubby does it all. With a range of flavors to try, Dubby is the go-to when it comes to energy drinks that don't make you crash. Use code GMD or the link in the description for 10% off your purchase and to support the channel.
And it turns out that same day we indeed got two leaders. So let's go through them now. The first one is the GOAT Fujitora. And you can see Green Black leader, OP04 020. He's got 4 lives, 5,000 power. He's Navy type. And he is someone I'm very much looking forward to because his abilities seem cracked. I spent a lot of my recent time playing Red Black Garp and trying to make Garp sustainable. And Fujitora looks to be insane just because I've played Black so much. So if you attach one Don to him, on your turn you give -1 cost to all your opponent's characters, which I think is good. Like -1 cost, and it applies to everyone, so it's cost efficient. And then at the end of your turn, set up to one of your characters with a cost of 5 or less as active. Now this is very good because it basically means you can restand any one of your blockers. So you can attack with a blocker, restand them, which I think for Black is very good. If you think of how many cards within Black and even within Green, like so many blockers like Blocker Law, like Borsellino, you can attack with them, restand them. So yeah, very good leader. Looking forward to him. He's one of my favorite characters, which I'm sure I'll say about 6 more times in this video, but he genuinely is. And yeah, let's move on to the next leader. And just like I called it, it's Queen. So we've had a King leader. King was atrocious. Mixed leader Kaido is, I guess, alright. And now we have Queen. So 4 life, 5,000 power, range type, Animal Kingdom Pirates. And the ability is that if you attach one Don, then when attacking, if the total number of your cards in your life and hand is 4 or less, which obviously with this it would be 4 or less, you draw a card. If you have a character with a cost of 8 or more, you may place up to 1 card from the top of your deck on top of your life instead of drawing 1 card. Now, this leader ability doesn't seem like very useful, because it is a bit wordy, but essentially this is just to give you end game survivability. Like if you actually think of how much how blue and yellow works, manipulating like life cards, you'll very easily hit like the condition. Like obviously you're definitely gonna have 4 or less lives, but The cost of 8 or more means that you do have to wait until I think your fourth turn, and then maybe fifth turn to play high cost characters. Thankfully, blue does have a lot of high cost characters. You obviously have Mihawk, and yellow also you have like Big Mom. So I think this could do well. We do have to see what other blue and yellow cards we get in this like set. But yeah, it could be good. Right now it looks kind of situational. But yeah, Queen Leader, and yeah, let's now go in order. So first, obviously, we have red reveals. So Koza, uncommon, 3 cost, 3000 power, Alabaster, and his ability is that when attacking, you may give one of your active leaders minus 5000 power this turn, and then the next turn, so if you give your leader minus 5000 power, until the start of your next turn, he gains plus 2000. So that's good because first off, it basically means that this character will hit for 5000. But also it says until your next start of turn, which means that even in your opponent's turn, Koza will have 5000, which makes it good because obviously sometimes, like most cards nowadays, will be like in your turn, so like he would lose his plus 2000. And I think this works good with characters like, I mean, obviously this is meant to be played with Vivi because Vivi obviously cannot attack as a leader. So I think that's quite good that even though she can't attack, you're able to use her power to like use cards like this. And also he's a 2k counter, so just having him in your deck could be good. Next, we have Pell. So red SR, 5 cost, 6000 power, and honestly, he's just a better Vista, a better Robin. So if you attach one dot to him, he'll KO up to one of your opponent's characters with 4000 or less power. Now, if you think of this in conjunction with like the leader VV, where like you can give up to one character rush, this is quite good. And yeah, so I think it is very good. Like you can KO 4000 or less power is more than Robin and Vista, and then also because he's 6000 power and 5 cost, he's harder to like remove off the board. Next is green. So even though green mostly is Don Quixote Pirates, I think this deck, this set, they're doing a lot of like adding supports for previous leaders. So here you can see that we've had East Blue in the last set, so now they're adding more support for that. This one's kind of simple. You know, you got Kuro, no effect, 6 cost, 8000 power. But I think it is good that like he was a leader, so now he has his own character card as well. And then this is our first non-canon, non-film character. So as in we've obviously had non-canon characters from films before, but this is also the first non-film, non-canon character, and that's Daddy Masterson. He's from a filler arc in Logtown. So 4 cost, 5000 power, East Blue, and the former Navy. And yeah, I think that's quite good. Like they're involving filler arcs because you know there have been some. I would say like I'm not gonna say all filler arcs were good. Some were painful, but there've been some filler arcs worth watching in One Piece, and some characters that have been introduced that we haven't seen much of, but that were cool at the time. And yeah, so this one, Don ×1, end of your turn, set this character as active. I think that's quite good because it basically means you hit for 6k, and then he's hard to get rid of as well. Next we have Sasuke. So uncommon blue, 3 cost, 4000 power, and he just shuffles your deck. So he's a 2k counter, and also if you play him, then you can return all the cards in your hand and then draw an equal number of cards after you've shuffled, which I think is good. Like if you have a bad hand and you did get him, you could play him, try and get a better hand. So yeah, I think like is it the best card? Is it like meta breaking? Not necessarily, but you know, it's an uncommon, it's a useful uncommon, and we'll probably see some use because the 2k counter has a good ability. Then we got an SR reveal, so Crocodile, purple SR, 8 cost, 9,000 power. And you can see that he's got 2 abilities. So his on-play ability is -2 Don, so you have to return any 2 Don from the field. If your leader's type includes Baroque Works, place up to 1 card from the top of your deck on top of your life, which I think is quite good because obviously he's at 8 cost, so when you play him will be probably your 4th, 5th turn. Maybe you've lost some lives by then. It just grants you a bit more, like survivability. And then on your opponent's attack once per turn, if you get rid of 1 Don, you can draw 1 card and trash 1 card in your hand, which is just good to gain more cards. In general, once again, not really like groundbreaking, but he is high cost, 9,000 power. He's a popular character, and I think he will see some usage because he can be quite useful in purple meta. So yeah, it's like nothing like it might be like meta breaking or such, but I think there is a lot of additional support now for previous leaders, which I think is very good. Next we have Frankie once again. This is an iceberg support. So purple are 1 cost, 1,000 power, and on your opponent's attack once per turn, minus a Don. If your leader has a water 7 type, so obviously iceberg, up to 1 of your leader or characters gains plus 1,000 power during this battle. So he's a 2k counter. It's just a good support for iceberg to have. I am also hoping that iceberg also gets a card, just because I know he hasn't had a character card. He's only had his leader card. So we probably will see that come up as well. And then Miss Valentine, so purple R, 2 cost, 2,000 power, and yeah, just a searcher for Baroque Works. So just like Nami, Momo, other searchers, which I think is good to give Baroque Works also a searcher because it's popular in this deck and it has previous cards as well. And yeah, just a normal card. Black Gyat's 2k counter, and this is quite cool actually. So on play, up to 1 of your characters with a Dressrosa type may attack your opponent's active characters during this turn, which I think is quite cool. I think I'd definitely be using him in like black decks I'll be playing, just because I play a bit more aggro. But the fact that he's a 2k counter and then on top of that allows you to, like, if you needed to play him and then attack an active character, you could. And I think I think it works quite well with black, considering how we've seen that other black characters can also attack active characters. So I think it does mess up a lot of like plays for whoever you're facing. So yeah, that's a good card. And then Cavendish, this was shown yesterday. Black rare, 5 cost, 6,000 power. Dressrosa, beautiful parrots. So Cavendish has 2 abilities. One is that if you attach 1 Don to him, he can attack active characters, which already means that he can swing for 7k. And then on top of that, when attacking, if you rest your leader, you can KO up to 1 of your opponent's characters with a cost of 1 or less. And then you can put the top 2 cards of your deck into the trash. I think this is a very good card, because first off, like, in terms of like the when attacking ability, that's the same ability as like 2 cost Garp without like the trashing deck. And the problem with 2 cost Garp has been that you play 2 cost Garp and then like someone will play like Vista or Teach or someone and get him off the board. Whereas Cavendish has a lot more, like, because he's higher cost, higher power, he'll survive for longer. And then yeah, I think this is quite good. And then also, like, I think people's concern would be like you're putting cards into the trash. But if you think about like SR Luffy, the Gear 4 Luffy, whose ability will bring 7 cards from the trash into the bottom of your deck, it does mean that like eventually you'll get it back. And then also we got Trafalgar Law. This was kind of funny to see because he is literally on the packet. Like, this is the pack art Trafalgar Law, and he's just a common, no effect. But yeah, 5 cost, 7,000 power, at least he got a cool art. So we'll go for that. Maybe he'll probably get a box topper as well, considering. Oh, actually, they're not doing box toppers anyway, right? So uh, maybe we'll get an SR law, or maybe they just don't like law. I would say that law is quite significant to Dressrosa, but also, uh, yeah, we'll see. I am definitely expecting either rare law or another SR law, though I do have to count how much SRs we can probably get. Then we move on to yellow. So this was released just a few hours ago. Charlotte Bavaroy. So yellow, common, 3 cost, 4,000 power. And yeah, so just his ability, if you attach 1 Don, if your life is less than your opponent's, this character gains plus 1,000 power. So he will go to 5,000, means he can swing for 5,000. Not meta breaking, but like they've covered more siblings, and could see use. And then we have Yamato, so yellow SR, 9 cost, 9,000 power. I will read the ability out. I do have to say that I kind of am disappointed with the card. 'Cause I don't think it is that great. But it's an opportunity for them to give you a cool Yamato art, give you a cool parallel art that people will go for. So at least there's that. But yeah, so the on play ability is that you can KO up to one of your opponent's characters with a cost that is equal to or less than the total life of you and your opponent. Now, the reason that part specifically I think is okay is because Yamato is 9 cost, which means that even if you go first, you won't play Yamato until your 4th turn, right? You're not even your 4th, your 5th turn. Yeah, you have to definitely your 5th turn, either way, whether you go first or second, which means that like by your 5th turn, most likely you've lost a few lives. Your opponent has lost a few lives, which means that like that total life, or like KO up to one of the total lives of you and your opponent will probably be like maybe like a 4 cost to like highest. I would say maybe 6-7 cost. Um, so like unless you want to play really defensively and like not lose any lives, not take any lives until you play this card, which I don't really see a point in doing. I don't think that first part is that useful. And then on top of that, if you have 1 or less life, you may add up to 1 card from the top of your deck to your life area, which I think is like it's just a weird ability, right? It basically means that if you have 1 or less life, then your first part of that ability is useless, and like it just means that you're either KOing a good opponent's character or you're adding a life, and like either way, I just don't think it's that great. Uh, there's no trigger effect as well, and yeah, kind of disappointed, but we'll see. Maybe like with the right deck. I haven't played yellow that much, so it could be just a lack of experience. But at least that's what I think of it right now. And then finally, we did get one leak, which was the SEC. So VV is the first SEC for this deck. Very nice art. Don't worry, the art won't be pink. This is just how the leaker does it. So yeah, I quite like this card. So 7 cost, 4,000 power, and the ability is all of your red characters with a cost of 3 or more, other than this character, gain rush, which I think is a cracked ability, because it basically means that once you play VV, the turn after you could like go ham with so many cards, and I think like it really is like a like ending game turn where it's like if you play VV, the turn after should potentially be like the opponent's last turn. Like you should be able to end them by the turn after. And I think that's actually the reason that they made her 4,000 power, which is a low power for a 7 cost, is just so that the opponent has a chance to remove her off the board, because that is such a cracked ability. But yeah, I mean, that's what I think. Let me know what you guys think, because that's all for today. Let me know. So yeah, so let me know what you guys think of these cards, and also let me know what cards you're hoping to see. I'm still hoping to see Sabo card. I'm hoping to see an Ace card from Alabasta, and I'm hoping to see like we got a Fugitora leader, and I do know that last time we had a Fugitora SR, so I don't know if we'll get another character card from him. But there's a lot that, like, I want to see Rosinante in this. I want to see Law get a good card in this. I want to see Sanji get a good card. So yeah, I'm looking forward to a lot of that. Let me know what you guys think, and I shall catch you next time. Peace.